It's strange how one night, just one act of kindness, can change everything. She thought he was just a tired, struggling man, trying to get by with his little girl and broken pride. She had no idea that the man she let sleep on her couch would soon walk into her office wearing a tailored suit, as her new CEO. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You never know, today's story might be exactly what someone needs to believe in second chances. Because this one's about how a moment of compassion turned two broken lives into something whole. It all started with a storm. Not just the kind that floods streets and shakes windows, but the kind that shakes lives apart. Natalie Harper was just getting off the night shift at the local bakery. She was 32, lived alone in a small rental above the shop, and had no family nearby. Her life was simple: early mornings, long hours, and the occasional glass of wine with a good book. She liked helping people when she could, but lately, it felt like the world had stopped giving anything back. Especially after her divorce 3 years ago, when her ex walked out, leaving her with a mountain of debt and a hollowed heart. She was walking home through the pouring rain when she saw them. A man and a little girl, no older than 5, huddled beneath the narrow overhang of a closed pharmacy. The girl's lips were trembling. The man's jacket was soaked through. He had a duffel bag at his feet and a look in his eyes. Somewhere between defeat and fierce, stubborn love. Natalie hesitated. She'd passed by people before. Who hadn't? But something about the way the man was holding the child, whispering softly as she clung to him like the world was ending, she couldn't just walk past. "Are you all right?" she asked, pulling her umbrella closer. The man looked up, startled. "We're okay," he said. "Just waiting for the rain to let up." The girl sneezed. Natalie bit her lip. "Look, I have a couch upstairs. It's dry. There's hot tea. I'm not trying to be weird or anything, I've been where you are." He studied her warily, then finally nodded. That's how Jack and little Rosie ended up in her apartment that night. Over the next few hours, the walls between strangers crumbled. Jack didn't talk much at first. But Natalie learned that he was a single dad, recently evicted, trying to get back on his feet. He used to work in tech, software, systems, but after his wife passed from cancer and bills piled up, he had to leave everything behind to raise Rosie. "She's all I have left," he whispered that night, while Rosie slept on Natalie's couch. "I just need one more shot, one more break." Natalie nodded. She understood. She'd prayed for a break for years. The next morning, she made them pancakes. Jack offered to leave early, said he'd find a shelter. But Natalie wouldn't hear of it. She told him to stay the weekend, just until the weather cleared. In those 3 days, something strange and wonderful began to bloom. Rosie clung to Natalie like she'd known her forever. Jack, he smiled more. Natalie found herself laughing again, feeling seen. But life has a cruel sense of timing. On Monday morning, Jack thanked her, hugged her, promised he'd repay her one day. Then he was gone, off to an interview he said might be his one last shot. Natalie returned to her routine. Flour on her apron, early mornings at the bakery, bills stacked beside the fridge. She didn't expect to see him again. Until 2 weeks later. She was sitting in the conference room of Harper & Wells, the family-owned firm where she had just landed a new job as executive assistant. It was her first real break in years: stability, better pay, a shot at rebuilding her life. Everyone was abuzz about the new CEO, someone hand-picked by the board, coming in to revive the company. And then he walked in. Jack. Only now, he wasn't wearing soaked jeans and carrying a duffel bag. He was in a sleek gray suit, clean-shaven, confident. But those eyes, she'd recognize those eyes anywhere. He froze when he saw her. She stood up, shocked. "Natalie," he said, a small smile playing on his lips. She blinked. "You're the new CEO." He nodded slowly. "Looks like I finally got that break." The room was silent. That moment could have ruined everything. Office gossip took off like wildfire. Some people whispered that Natalie had manipulated her way in. Others said Jack favored her. But they didn't know the truth. Jack kept it professional. He never crossed boundaries. But behind closed doors, he never forgot what she'd done. Weeks turned into months. Natalie worked harder than ever. Jack, despite his title, often stayed late too. They talked sometimes, about work, life, Rosie, dreams they'd buried. One night, after a late meeting, Jack said quietly, "You saved me, Natalie. That night, you gave me more than a couch. You gave me hope." She smiled, but her voice was quiet. "You gave it back." But things didn't stay perfect. A scandal hit the company. An old financial mishap from the previous CEO came to light. Investors panicked. The board wavered. Jack's position was at risk. Natalie watched him struggle, not just with numbers, but with guilt. He'd fought so hard to prove himself, to rebuild. And now, it all threatened to collapse. One night, when he was at his lowest, he knocked on her apartment door again. Rosie was asleep. Natalie poured them tea. "I don't know if I can fix this," Jack whispered. "You don't have to do it alone," she replied. "Let people in. Trust someone. Trust me." He looked at her for a long time. "I already do." With Natalie's help, Jack made bold choices. He opened communication with the press. Took responsibility. Reached out to every investor with transparency and integrity. Slowly, the company stabilized. Trust was rebuilt. And through it all, so was something between them. On the one-year anniversary of his becoming CEO, Jack stood in front of the company and told the real story. Not just about the financial recovery, but about the woman who saved his life. "She took me in when I had nothing," he said, his voice full. "She didn't ask for anything in return. She believed in me before anyone else did. And she taught me that leadership starts with kindness." Everyone stood in applause. That night, he asked Natalie to dinner. But it wasn't a date. Not yet, it was a thank you. A beginning. Months later, Natalie sat on that same couch with Rosie on her lap, Jack beside her, as a family. She looked around her tiny apartment, the same one where Jack first slept on the couch, soaked and hopeless, and she realized something. It's not where you come from. It's who you become, and who stands beside you while you do. Sometimes, a single act of kindness is the start of everything. So if you believe in second chances, in love that grows from brokenness, in stories where good hearts win, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because there's more where this came from. And maybe, just maybe, your own story is about to begin.